We'll open the phones now, 800-433-8850. First to Durham, North Carolina. Good morning, Ian. You're on the air.
Good morning, Diane. Nice to speak to you. I'm just curious what the Republicans have in mind to take care of this oil spill if they don't want to have BP pay for it out of a fund and they're anti-taxes. Does anybody have any idea what their plan actually is?
Doyle?
Actually, most of the Republicans do want BP to pay for it. That's where they ended up settling out. But the interesting thing about the controversy this week was that it split them down the middle. John Boehner, the Republican leader in the House, had said, lift that cap and let free enterprise pay for this. Now, you've also got a third camp, which is sort of the Sarah Palin, Bobby Jindal camp, which is to wave your arms around and say the federal government, the president should do something and do anything. And that's also been kind of a complication of the Republican message, because you've got some Republicans saying the federal government should do more and others who say the federal government should do less, and some who say it should do both at the same time.
Yeah, I think the issue for Republicans is the idea of the federal government compelling the establishment of this escrow account. I don't think there's anybody of any credibility or stature in the Republican Party who is not arguing that BP should have to pay for this.
The other split that you're seeing, by the way, is between the various states, and it's one of the things that makes this complicated. Florida has always been sort of an anti-drilling state. Louisiana has always been very much of a drilling state. Mississippi sort of wants the federal government to stop making such a big deal out of this because it's driving people away. And so one of the things that the administration has to deal with, in addition to the various claims about what it should be doing, is that different states want it to be doing different things.
And to Cleveland, Ohio. Andrew, you're on the air.
Good morning, Diane. Thank you for taking my call.
Surely.
My concern, and I know it's probably too early in the game to know if this is a valid concern, but with this large amount being divvied up among the victims, I'm sincerely hoping that on down the road we don't see, as an example, I'll just use hotels as an example, Hyatt hotels saying our hotels along the Gulf Coast took a hit because of decrease in travel because of the oil. And we have this corporation with this massive legal team, and we're going to descend upon Washington and get our money. I hope that those people are held as equal as the mom-and-pop bed and breakfast that is also on the Gulf Coast, that is also having this tragic loss, and probably, honestly, feeling it greater.
What about that, Doyle?
Well, that is one of the problems that immediately is going to face BP and the new third-party panel set up by President Obama under Ken Feinberg, and that is how broadly does the liability go? It's very clear that BP is on the hook for people involved, for the fishermen who can't fish. BP is on the hook for all of the direct effects, like the natural damage that's being done, the wildlife, the marshes, everything else. But how far does that extend? Does it extend to hotels? Does it extend to others? It probably will extend to people who can, like hotels and restaurants, who can show a direct drop-off in business. In other words, if your business was $10 million last June and it's $2 million this June, you have a pretty good claim for the $8 million difference.